we should be doing everything we can to make it more affordable to buy a home.
A just-released housing index reveals just how rough the market is, especially for first-time home buyers. It showed home prices for the nation's top 20 metro areas rose 5.4% from June of last year to June of this year, a record jump for that month.
And this is who y'all want to be run. Okay, for all the people, all the black homies who, oh, you're on the wrong side of history. You're on the wrong side of history. How could you do this? This is a black one. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Yeah, it would be good if it was, based on merit and actually somebody that, could do something good for the country. But we have somebody who's in a position to be able to make change. Look at me stuttering, to invoke change, but it's not doing it. And she's campaigning on things that she could change now. And then you got the people out here, she's the VP. There's not much she can do. It's not much she can do, right? But she can be the deciding factor, the decision that, implement laws for taxes and things. And the contradiction. The contradiction. But the question I ask you today is, what has she done for America, guys? Now, I'm not going to sit here. I know I'm obviously a conservative and right-leaning with my views and stuff. I'm not going to sit here and say that every act she's ever committed in life was just horrific and she didn't do any good in her life. I'm just saying I ain't see it. That's all I'm saying. Anyhow, somebody said nothing could be further from the truth. What was the question? Let me scoot up. I got to make sure we ask the question again. Under Kamala Harris, housing costs have hit a record high. Kamala has destroyed the American dream. Okay, well, yeah. I don't get no question from that. And you people won't even impeach Biden. How weak, somebody says. It's complete BS. Yeah, it is. People can't afford homes. People can't afford food, bro. What? Truth be told, you know what I mean? The scenery behind this camera is supposed to be different, but it's been real difficult to find something reasonable. And I'll just leave it at that. Now, moving on. We're going to get to the overall clip that I really want to get to is Kamala Harris apparently agreed to sit down and do an interview with Dana Bash. And I want to replay her interview with soon-to-be VP JD Vance. But before we get into that, I got to show y'all this clip right here. Again, Kamala in office, bro, I don't know. She was clear on supporting a fracking ban, which she repeatedly said. Now, top Harris campaign intern Michael Tyler says Kamala Harris has, quote, been very clear on her fracking position. Let's check it out.
Vice President has changed her position on fracking in Pennsylvania. Do you know why she's changed her position?
Listen, she's been very clear here. She's proud of the work that she's done as a part of this administration, making sure that American energy production is at an all-time high. We want to continue that progress into her first term in office here. And again, I think whether it's energy policy, economic policy writ large, that you have a fighter in Kamala Harris who is actually keeping the interests of the American people front and center, coming together to bring people together in search of solutions that actually improve people's quality of life, improve our economy, improve energy production. I think that stands, again, in stark contrast to Donald Trump.
Yes, you heard the man. She's proud of the work that she's done with the administration. Yes, there's no question that she's in favor to ban fracking. That's exactly what she said. Matter of fact, that's exactly what she said.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah, and starting with what we can do on day one around public lands, right? And then there has to be legislation. But yes, and this is something I've taken on in California. I have a history of working on this issue. And to your point, we have to just acknowledge that the residual impact of fracking is enormous in terms of the impact on the health and safety of communities. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, drill, baby, drill. And in reference to the guy who was the intern, imagine having the title, top campaign intern. No, wait, first of all, let me just say this to the man who's actually making a living. No, I'm not actually laughing at you. I'm just saying, Kamala, the deal, this is what they did. The intern, the top intern, what? Just, okay, let's read a few comments. Listen up, Pennsylvania. Somebody just wrote that. How do these people get out of bed? Shameful if all their lies. I'm pretty sure they wanted to say of all their lies. oh, that's a pretty dope picture of Trump. I'm gonna have to go ahead and use that. Matter of fact, let me put y'all on the screen. I'm talking about that picture. I'm like, yo, this right here, this may be hard. You know, I don't know if we're gonna make it what's the name, but what's this? This DNC reporter, man. Oh, this is an ad. Whatever they say, let me be clear here. Let's be clear here. They are lying. Sorry, correction. Whenever their lips move, they are lying. Oh my gosh, y'all. I can't read. Y'all see this? What is happening? Going too fast. I'm just going too fast. We never hear from Kamala. Her people are always talking for her. Yeah, the media is talking for them. That's what she got in her pocket. Somebody says Agenda 2024. She has been very clear on her fracking position up until she changed it 2 weeks ago to gain independent votes. Ooh, not surprising. Not to mention, she was like, some article she was voted like the most liberal senator or something like that, or liberal VP. I don't know. It was one of those things. I don't want to lie. It was something like that. She was voted most liberal in something, and definitely because she's super radical in what you're about to hear about the police officers.
Being incarcerated for a couple of days is traumatic, much less the weeks, months, and years that we're seeing that happen. And so part of my plan is also a reduction of that. And then also, again, what we need to do about demilitarizing our schools and taking police officers out of schools. We need to deal with the reality and speak the truth about the inequities around school discipline.
So you mean to tell me if Kamala gets elected, she's going to attempt to get rid of police officers in schools? Yeah, sound like she has your best interest at heart. Like, I feel safer knowing my kids have somebody that'll protect them, who's law enforcement. Why not? They're literally paid to make sure that they check out for threats all day, every day. They get educated and trained on those things. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm always make sure my babies are protected, but it's great to have somebody who know how to look at trees a little different than I do, know how to look for certain cues that I ain't used to, I'm just saying, man, my kids feel safer that way. I feel safer. Well, I feel that my kids are safer that way. And especially with, I ain't even gonna say it. Somebody said low expectation administration. For sure, everything she believes is bad for America, okay? Now, I know we all over the place with this video, and you're like, yo, what are we talking about? We're talking about the debate. Ooh, but I mentioned earlier that Kamala Harris had agreed to do a sit-down interview with Dana Bash. And Harris will have Tim Walz with her doing that interview. The announcement comes after Harris has avoided the media for over a month, and the interview will air at 9 p.m. Eastern time this Thursday. And the interview with Bash comes after CNN host sat down with JD Vance, who called Kamala out for being afraid of the media. Now, my question is, will Dana Bash ask the same tough questions like she asked with him?
Dana, I criticized his lying about his own record, okay? This is a guy who was captured on video saying, I carried a gun in war. He never went to war. This is a guy who's been captured on video. As other people say, he's an Afghanistan veteran. He's a veteran of a war, nodding along in agreement instead of saying, no, I did serve my country and I did it honorably, but I never went to a war zone. I'm not criticizing Tim Walz's service. I'm criticizing the fact that he lied about his service for political gain, Dana. You've now asked me 3 questions about comments that I made 3 years ago. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she supported policies that opened the American southern border. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she lied to the American people about Joe Biden's middle facility for the office. You are interviewing me, Dana, because I respect the American people enough to sit down for an interview.
I appreciate that.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement there.
But the point is, Dana, you've got me for 15 minutes or however long you have me. We should be talking about public policies that matter. How are we going to lower inflation? How are we going to reduce the cost of food and housing? How are we going to close down that southern border? We've talked so little about that. We've talked a lot more about a sarcastic remark I made 3 years ago. I think we should talk about the issues that most Americans care. Kamala Harris is whatever she says she is whatever she says she is. But I believe importantly that President Trump is right that she's a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing in front of one audience. She pretends to be something different in front of another audience. Look, Dana, she's not running a political campaign. She's running a movie. She only speaks to voters behind a teleprompter. Everything is scripted. She doesn't have her policy positions out there. She hasn't answered why she wanted to ban fracking, but now she doesn't. She wanted to fund police, but now she doesn't. She wanted to open the border, but now she doesn't. She should have to answer for why she presents a different set of policies to one audience and a different set of policies to another audience. And I think that's what President Trump is getting at. This is a fundamentally fake person. She's different depending on who she's in front of. Dan, I criticize people for not having kids. I criticize people for being anti-child. And I do think that Kamala Harris has made some bizarre statements. She has said things like, it's reasonable not to have children over climate change. I think that's the exact opposite message we should be sending to our young families. I want to expand the child tax credit. I want to stop those surprise medical bills. I want to make housing more affordable so that if you have a young family, you can actually afford to put them in a home. And I think that it is unfortunate that so much of our public leadership has become anti-family. One final point on this, Dana. If you go back to the COVID era, one thing that really frustrated me, please.
Are you going to debate Tim Walz?
Of course. I want to debate Tim Walz. I think it's important. And I think that it goes to a very fundamental difference between the Trump-Vance ticket and our opposition. We believe in talking to the media. We believe in answering questions. We believe in debating. I think it's really important. I mean, look, I'm asking the American people to make me their vice president. It's really important to stand before the American people to make that case, and I'm going to keep on doing it in whatever form I get the opportunity. So
we look forward to it. Thank you so much for
Dana.
sitting down and taking my questions.
Of course. Thank you for coming here.
Now, I thought that she was going to have the questions with it. I should have edited the clip a little better than that. I just assumed so with the caption. But anyhow, I hope that Dana Bastard has asked Kamala Harris similar questions, about her past as well. Because this is what they do, man. And they try to make it seem like we're just being delusional or we just whining over here. It's like, yo, we talking about quotes that I made or comments that I made how many years ago? Okay, cool. Can we talk about policy? Oh, you don't want to talk about policy? Or me wanting to talk about policy is making me seem like I'm running away from... Oh, wow. Okay, well, let me address... You know what I mean? Like, it's this... Colin Rugg said, I'm convinced the reason they waited so long is because they didn't actually know what their policies are. I just know it's going to be very interesting to see her on there. If she's unscripted, that'd be amazing, but we know that that's not happening. Somebody says, finally, the people get to see an interview with only Kamala, Tim Walz, Dana Bash. Completely scripted questions that Kamala received early teleprompters. Deceptive editing and joy. Joy. That's really their main ingredient for their campaign right now. I need to go get me some water. I think I'm stop talking right here. I thought we got the point. Do I got any more clips? Yeah. Trump 2024.